going to be the elimination quarterfinals now. Unfortunately, for one of these teams, it will be the end of the road, but it's going to be Cintanegra X versus Alta Esports.
Yeah, this is going to be good and a great way to kick off Champ Sunday. So happy to be with you and also so happy to have everyone joining us across Twitch and YouTube. Of course, it means a lot you checking out Championship Sunday, and now these two teams going up here in the Elim quarterfinals, as we said. Alta Esports, Cintanegra, we are now into game number 1.
And we're already going to see a play made on the Rockets with that drop shield. It's going to work, and Lior's also going to pick up a kill with them. So a perfect opening strategy coming in from Cintanegra X as Alta Esports find themselves 2 down. But the pressure on these teams, I think Wes summed it up very well on the desk. It's everything it kind of comes to the front of your mind once you get to Sunday. It's all about getting to Sunday. Then you start thinking about prize money. Then you start thinking about the opportunity to go to Orlando and compete against some of the best in Hrimgel. I mean, he's one of those players I want to see, to be honest, on the national stage, hitting shots like that already.
Absolutely, and fantastic to see these teams made it this far, of course, but as you allude to, a lot more to be done here on Championship Sunday. You hope these teams have been well rested, right? They got a good meal today as it's just about midday in Mexico City, a long day of Halo ahead, and for a lot of these players that you're going to see even on this main stage, this might be their first time here, and what a time to do it. The largest prize pool in Mexico City history and all of Latin America, to be honest, here with so much money on the line. 3 dead momentarily for Cintanegra X, and that will be a hold for Alta Esports.
And they should be able to chip away at that lead that has been established early on. A little bit scrappy to start with. Unfortunately, getting cut down when you're trying to cross across that tram station is not the place you want to find yourself if you've got that oddball in the hands. But now Hrimgel moving in to pick up the oddball once more, and he's going to have a decision to make here because he's got a bit of help on the arcade side. He's also got a bit of help on tram, and if this 1v1 is won inside of arcade, then maybe they're going to have a chance to scrap up some more ball time.
See what Hrimgel can do, and anyone who caught Hrimgel's matches yesterday, what a show he was putting on, just doing everything he needed to, even in situations where he was the last alive, somehow squeaking out important kills, getting key damage, moments like that, such a difference maker. We'll see if he could do it on Champ Sunday as well.
Well, Cintanegra X looking calm and confident. You can see Dolan on your screen right now. He's just removing the hair from the eyes while he's holding that oddball in his hands, and understandably so, because it's been a really strong start for them here. 47-11 in the score, and you can see they've already got this set up round back tower, around PD where they want to try and hold, but now the pressure's coming in, and that's off the back of the pickup of the Rockets coming in from Atenuis.
Yeah, good important time to look here at what's happened so far. 50-11 right now, and Cintanegra X not only leading, oh my, we talk about that sentinel beam on land. It's a doble muerte for Dolan here. He's going to grab the ball, but he gets caught off on a caution plants angle, so the push will continue from Alter.
Yeah, that little pick might be enough for them to make some progress on getting that odd ball out of the hands of Cintanegra X here, but it's also looking like Hrimgel's just going to continue winning fights. Every single time we see him on our screens or in the kill feed, he's just doing what he does best, and that is just taking those individuals, winning those pivotal battles, and then putting down huge amounts of damage. And if you give him a Stalker rifle, those damage numbers are only going to go one way.
Yeah, and speaking of damage numbers, let's look at the kills category so far. The Bajas easily in favor of Cintanegra X. You have 2 players already on 6. Sepstars heating up. We saw him with a really big day number 1. He wants to also bounce back with a huge day number 3. He's already 8-3 in this match.
Yeah, I think he's kind of the key to this team a little bit when we get into maybe a little bit later in the bracket, if they do manage to take down Alta Esports here, because he was one of those players who would have massive games or kind of even-ish games, which is absolutely fine, but it seemed like the job is a lot easier when he's popping off alongside his teammate Hrimgel, who seems to have been the dynamic duo when it comes to putting up those numbers. And this man on your screen right now, we've talked about him a lot, and it's for understandable reason. He's currently 8-4 in the game, and he's also got the oddball in his hand. He's not afraid to do anything it takes to get that win.
Great little performance there, right? He just does a little bit of damage onto Heaven. This entire sequence, he should pick up this one as well. Unfortunate trade. It was an otherwise perfect sequence. We might have jinxed him there, but I love the damage onto Heaven. Rotate ball to Red Room. Do a little more damage on B Stairs. Then also find another player at Music. If he cleaned up that last one, that would have been a perfect set of plays, but still a lot of good work from the entire side of Cintanegra X.
Well, Alta Esports have really got one more push left. You can see they're already under pressure. They're losing numbers. It's 2 for 2. But when you're trying to get the odd ball in your hands, having even trades is not a good place to find yourself. Dolan, again, just putting down a huge amount of damage. They'll pick up the Rockets off the back of this damage and the kills. And Alta Esports only need around 12 seconds to complete this first round. And with the Rockets, you would imagine those 12 seconds won't be too difficult to scrape up.
Very nice shots from Dolan. I'm really impressed with Cintanegra X, the way they're making sure to prioritize that ball time. Now, just as you say, only 5 seconds to go. This should be it.
This will be it. It is a position which cannot be challenged by any of the players from Alta Esports. And just like that, Cintanegra X continue what has been a very impressive run from them so far. They get that first round on the board without too many problems whatsoever.
Really impressed with the ball prioritization, as I was starting to say, with Cintanegra X, and it's never a last priority for them. They're never getting the kills and then wondering who's on the ball. They're actively running that ball. It's these mini rotates that you need to see, and to be honest, there's a really good Paul Graham quote about a business will never make money unless that is the first thing you're trying to do, and to be honest, you'll never win a ball game unless the first thing you're thinking about is ball. It cannot be the last priority on the list, and they're really showing that they have what it takes, but maybe an opportunity for the other team to bounce back in this round.
Ooh, especially if these rockets are a little bit wonky, but Stars gets away with it, and even though it was probably a couple of rockets and certainly one rocket extra he had to expend, as well as the beatdown, answering back with a couple of nice BR shots, certainly something to just kind of find that level head once again. He's got a flank onto the player here on the stairs as well. Can't quite clean him up for now. Is that going to cost him? No, he does get the kill on the killing spree. And already you can see 18 on the boards off the back of the kills for Cintanegra X.
Yeah, and we take a look at the total Stars. The man 18-6. We talked about his day 2 performance, how he was becoming a superstar, but maybe was a little more middle of the pack yesterday. Still some great games, but wasn't popping off the same way he was day 1. It looks like he's looking to have a very different and diff, if I can say it as the kids do, a little bit of a diffy championship Sunday.
If anyone can say it, you can. Okay,
no, I appreciate that.
Team. I stick by you. A little bit of a ball time momentarily seemed to be kind of an opportunity presented to Alter Esports. Unfortunately, once again, just the slaying. It's just been too much for them to deal with at the moment. Stars has now got the Stalker rifle in his hand, and he's doing so much damage. That's 2 different players, 3 different players almost, that he's damaged or taken the shields down of, and he's still alive without taking any damage himself. So this is a lovely little run from him. The drop ball might be a challenge, but nothing that he is not afraid of taking, as that's another kill for him now.
Yeah, really nice job there in the L against the drop ball. The drop ball can certainly mess you up a bit. You need to make sure that when you're hitting those shots, you're ideally shooting through the panels that have already been knocked down. He does just that, nothing to worry about, and he will continue rolling and patrolling here. A little bit of rockets grab as a bonus run too.
Yeah, should be able to pick up a very simple kill. Waste the second one, maybe thinking he was coming under pressure and there might be a trade. So not giving any kind of advantage to his opponents is always a good thing to do, as Grimsty tries to at least get some kills inside a tram here and clean out where that odd ball is, because at the moment, if you're looking across the stats here, he's having a little bit of a slow game, but you can say that about most of the players on Alter Esports, just being outclassed in those individual battles.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot of pressure that's coming in from the Cintanegra X side, and to be honest, it doesn't look like a lot of mistakes being made from the side of Alter Esports. It's more, as you say, just simply outshooting and outplaying, and a little bit of stronger pace from the side of Cintanegra X.
Hughes found himself as the last player alive once again. He's got the odd ball in his hand, and he's got some spawns on the arcade street, so Stars just taking his time here, waiting to see where that rotation comes in, waiting to see where the kills go down, and wait to see where his teammates are before trying to make a move in on that odd ball carrier. He manages to get one. He's got the spike grenades down as well. His shields are taken down, but so is the daring challenger, I will say, who comes around that corner and has to eat about 3 or 4 grenades before he finds the grave.
Great play from Stars there, and you thought maybe that spiker that he left on the wall was going to come back to him. I think we saw it miss him by just a few inches. You're playing with fate and a little bit of luck there when that spiker doesn't come back to hit you, but he does the damage, and now he's just going to zoom in through the plants and actually get resituated, because that's 4 dead for Alter Esports, and Cintanegra X will continue scoring.
Got to readjust. Got to make sure you're comfortable on that main stage. And Stars is looking extremely comfortable right now. Not only has he got all of this ball time, but he's also sitting at 24-8. And if you've got a player doing that, it's no surprise to see that the scoreline is how it is at the moment. He might be able to add a few more. He's got that bulldog. He's also going to have a bit of help here to keep him alive on the arcade street. Dancing around in music is the perfect place to do it, especially if you can stay alive for a few more seconds.
Bailando from Stars. Some nice work from him, as you say, 25-8. And my God, nice little throw tate from him as well to get the ball out of tram. He's going to go up driveway, then kind of play the ball on beat rail and just let them play Slayer a bit. They will lose 3 players. They are the last player alive, so this should be an opportunity for Alter Esports to put a little bit more time on the board, but they don't really have too much of a cushion.
I mean, the throw tate is officially something I'm going to be using forever now. That's such a great term to use for the odd ball being thrown towards a teammate to continue that rotation. Zauron, though, he's not going to stop the rotation. He's got rockets. He should have a pretty simple kill here and manages to pick that one up onto Dolan, who is challenging down from the commando. But just, you can see they look a little bit lost on the map at the moment. You can see just the way the reticle was kind of whipping around on your screen. Just no idea where the next players were. And Stars is just winning everything at the moment. He's 27-9.
I would love to see the Stars heat map, because how much time has this man spent on B stairs, right? Whole game, time will tick down. This will be the round.
That'll be the round. Stepstars might get one more. He might get two, but at the end of it, he just misses out on that 30 bomb. He ends up with 28 kills, but 2-0 is the score that, as we always say, always matters most, and smiles across the board as you would expect from Cintanegra X.
Yeah, beautiful little piece of work there from Cintanegra X, and I didn't want to interrupt the end of that round because they certainly deserve all the credit for that game as they're able to put that up. And not the exact Cintanegra X roster on your screen. I think we had a few players from alternate rosters sneaking in on that one, but the 4 players on your screen, indeed, Cintanegra X. And I tell you what, that Sepstars heat map of B Stairs, it felt like he played the entire game from B Stairs. That tells you so much about how he understands what kind of anchor point B Stairs is. Just think about the angles that you have and the cover that you have. There's the guys for a second on your screen. Think about the cover that you have and the opportunity to challenge. You can challenge all the way into A, into L, into Neons, but you can totally isolate those angles, and it's impossible to be naded from B Stairs. It's really such a power position. There's a reason he was there the whole game. There's a reason he went 28-9.
I need to give a shout out as well to Miguel. I mean, 22 kills, excuse me, for him, 15 deaths, but look at those assists. 17 assists for him. That is ridiculous. That is, I'm trying to do some maths. It's almost the entire amount that his opposition had here by himself. So if you're Stepstars and you're walking around and you're finding a lot of one-shots, you look at your teammate Hringelho and you go, thank you, man. Like, I appreciate you doing that damage, because I've been able to put up a huge stat line because of it.
And Hrimgil says, no problem, baby. Because of the service tag. Don't get it twisted. It's not weird like that.
Yeah, we're making it weirder than I think it is. I'm sorry.
I like it. I like it just like this.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with it.
Let's bounce on that line. Grimsty, though, he's going to have to bounce back in the next game. A 9 and 19 for him, and neg 10, and Paradise just behind him as well. I think everyone really struggled. Outside of Zauron, who was the Game 5 king, as Wes Price called him yesterday, and understandably so, as he drops a huge amount of kills to drag them through that series and complete that reverse sweep. But apart from that, you can just see there's a clear difference in the two teams at the moment, Andy, and unfortunately it's looking like one of them is going to continue in a pretty strong way, and one of them might unfortunately be finding this is the end of the road, end of the tournament for them.
Yeah, elimination bracket here, everything to play for. And it's tough to come in on a Champ Sunday knowing you're the first match on main stage and realizing this is do or die, right? We're really excited to be here. We've worked hard to get to Sunday, but we're going up against a team like Cintanegra X. And I think Alter Esports knows the task ahead of them. They've played well this weekend. Maybe not as well as they thought they needed to in order to get to the right place in bracket play. But overall, Cintanegra X, let's not forget, this team is not just looking for top 3. They might be even looking for something better than that. And we knew that right away when we saw them first thing Friday. And you have to bet that Alter Esports knows that as well. They're going to have a very tough game number 2.
And they gave Cintanegra a really good series yesterday as well. The main lineup, if you want to call them that, OG, whatever it might be. All of those things all those games, were extremely close, and especially the couple of objective games that we saw as well. The Slayer was very, very close. We'll take a look at some of the replays of that first map while we've got a moment, and we're waiting for the second map to get underway. But I think they'd love a rematch against Cintanegra. I think, as crazy as it sounds, because obviously, partner teams, whatever it might be, you kind of want an opportunity to prove them wrong, right? You want to be the number 1 team if you're under that same banner.
Oh, you totally do. They love a rematch, and they'd love to take the victory on that, because honestly, it doesn't really matter, and too many Halo players will tell you this over the course of many, many events. It doesn't really matter how things transpire on the Friday and the Saturday if the result is different on Sunday. That's the only one that people are going to remember, and that's the only one that's going to be for the bragging rights. So I think a rematch and a victory would be an absolutely massive deal for them.
Yeah, doing some really simple things really well as well, and sometimes that's the secret of good Halo, right? Locking down power weapons, making sure that you're controlling the sandbox, all the things we always mention and almost become buzzwords, right? But there's a reason that we say it so much. It's because that is the difference maker. You've got to put yourself in the position where if you're coming off respawn, you're getting hit with Spiker's Stalker rifle, and you go around a corner and there's a shotgun, there's not really too much you can do. So it's one of those things where you might think we say it all the time and it's such a basic thing to say, but the basics of Halo a lot of the times are what bring you those wins.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the cool things here is sometimes when we're in non-North American tournaments and markets, you might look at the gameplay. This happens when you're at, say, past the top 8 in Europe, in Latin America, as well as Australia, New Zealand. You see the gameplay and you think, this looks a little bit different from the top North American teams. What's great about these top Latin American teams is they're doing the basics right. They're doing the textbooks right. Great shots there from Stepstars as well. So I think anyone watching this gameplay, if you took away those lower thirds and maybe the observer HUD, you wouldn't know that this wasn't a top North American player in some instances, which is really special. I think really important when we think about how this team might fare beyond this event into Orlando and the World Championships as well.
Well, first step for them, of course, is to get to Orlando, and that is going to be a long road for them because the elimination bracket, as we know, it is a long stretch. There's a lot of games to play, and every single game you have that added pressure with knowing that if you lose it, unfortunately, you are going to be out of the tournament. And the worst thing to do, I almost feel like it's better to go out now than get so close to that Orlando qualification, get into that match, and then let it slip through your fingers. But let's hope that isn't the case for them and that they do get into a position where they're going to be happy at the end of the day. They might be happy at the end of the next game as well, because we're going over to Slayer Aquarius, and with the performance we've just seen from them in the stats category, it's difficult to see Ultra Esports really being able to put up much of a fight here.
Yeah, big 2-0 win here from Cintanegra X, or Cintanegra X, in that game number 1, and it is certainly going to give them some great momentum going into Slayer Aquarius. And you have to think, with as textbook of a Slayer as Slayer Aquarius is, right, playing so similar to your 2-base 2-towers map throughout history, Cintanegra X could have an opportunity here to go up 2-0, and they might do it pretty quickly.
Well, this is their opportunity to do it and put themselves onto series point. As you say, Aquarius Slayer is where we are headed. And we are also going to see, once again, that thrust be such an influential part of the game. And it's something which, again, I feel like it's probably one of the most influential parts of this game type, is getting that thrust and controlling it. You obviously have the heat wave, you have the camo, you have the dynamos. But if you go up against a player, even if you have some of that at your disposal and you don't have thrust and they do, a lot of the times you're still going to come out on the back of a 1v1 loss.
I think we go back to the timeless Unisheck quote of thrust a lot. It really is the key to winning those 1v1 battles, and honestly so much more here. Starting things off with Step Stars, and who better to start it with after that huge performance in the last game, 25-8.
Yeah, if you can go anything near that, then this will be another win on the board here for Cintanegra X. And it is looking like a very strong start for them. Only one more player alive for them to deal with before they try and get hold of that camo. And it looks like the kill is being prioritized, as is that heat wave. Stepstars also has that thrust, and you can already see what a problem he is on the map.
I mean, look at the way he's able to move around this. One thrust left in the back pocket, as well as the heat wave. He's going to watch the camo get popped, and a nice little swap of the heat wave to make it a heat wave in hands of the camo player as well, who will just continue roaming around the map and likely do even more damage.
Well, it's going to be Hrimgel who's going to have that combination, the Yeet Wave as you call it, and sometimes you don't need it. Sometimes you just need to walk up to a player and clean them up when he's a one-shot with that battle rifle, but instead, make sure you get that job done. That's going to be another kill for him, and how many times have we said that? The man is sat at 4-0 right now, and he is just taking over early on in this game.
It really is amazing what the camo affords you when you give your camo player that heat wave. You're essentially just so deadly in all scenarios, all ranges. You're able to use the heat wave at a range and at a sort of pattern that you normally would not be able to do. You get caught out a lot sooner. You get behind enemy lines and you start ripping teams apart from the inside, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Unsurprisingly, it will be a Racha Asesina killing spree for Hrimgel at the beginning of the game.
14-3 is the score. Make it 15. At the moment, they're just dominating. There's no other way to put this. You see there's two players, Paradise and a Tenny user, who are currently sat, unfortunately, on that horrible donut. Now, that's something that I don't say a lot. I'm a big advocate of donuts and all of their uses in the world, but the one that I do not want in my possession at any point is the one that's on the scorecard.
We've talked about this before, but I don't know if the Latin American audience has heard about it. Recently, I saw you eat a donut that was larger than your head.
Yeah. I mean, I did share part of it. I will say that. But
oh, no. I had a bite and it was delicious, but it was
it was larger than my head, but I probably ate the mass that was the size of my head.
Yeah, exactly. That was a delicious donut.
It's ridiculous.
And that was really good. Back to the gameplay here, but there's a big swing. 20-9 is the score for Cintanegra X, but it will be a camo and a heat wave, make it a heat wave in the hands of Paradise. Let's see what he could do.
Let's see what he can do, because both players who were unfortunately sat on that donut have now gone to a breadstick at least, so that's a little bit less of an issue for you. Something that you don't want to do is find yourself on land and having to talk about that. Now there's going to be an opportunity for the double kill. Paradise will collapse and will get it. Another double muerte coming in this game, and all of a sudden this game is looking a little bit more respectable. This
is very different, actually. Yeah, nice little shots and almost stays alive, but he'll get a spree, and he brings the game with 23-14. Keep in mind the score was just about 20-8 or so, so that's a little bit of a swing in favor of Ultra, and if they can, Lior not able to take that one either, so the game will stay even closer, and Paradise almost makes it happen in the gen, but they brought this game to a slightly more respectable scoreline, but I tell you what, Cintanegra X, they're going to keep up the pressure.
Yeah, it's now an 11 kill difference between the teams, and it was that heat wave camo combination, the heat wave, that gave them the opportunity, and the opportunity was taken just to close that gap a little bit, but now you're starting to see when the playing ground is a little bit more level between the teams. Who really is the dominant force here? Another trade comes in around the gen. Atenues is trying to get out on the pink side. He's got a couple of players in front of him, both weak, but you can see the challenge. You can see the confidence. There's Himgel again, who finally gets taken down. But just no fear in these players at the moment. And why would you have fear when you're up 32-19?
Absolutely. It feels like they have a little bit of a rush because we can't lose attitude. 11-5 already for Sepstars, the man on your screen, and he's performing game after game. It's been incredible. Also, Leor, 10 assists already.
10 assists again. Another player just putting up a huge amount of assists for the team. And Dolan also not too far behind him as well with 9 to his name. Sepstars now moving through and looking to find some more targets, and there's always a teammate within the vicinity here for Cintanegra X. It's not like they're taking an isolated battle. It's always a 2-on-2 at least scenario where they can bait and switch. They can use each other's shields to just elongate the fight a little bit longer for some help to come in. But Paradise has got the heat wave again. He was the man who at least made this a little bit more respectable last time he had the weapon. Let's see if he can do it again.
Trying to make this battle. This is not an easy one when you're under pressure, and this last one will hit, so Paradise somehow gets away with that, and a double kill as well at the bottom, so that'll make it now 39-26, but you might think maybe a little bit too little too late. It was 4 dead though.
It was 4 dead. Now can they find the spawn? It looks like they've cleared out blue, but unfortunately just not quite being able to lock onto that spawn quick enough to add any more pressure here to Cintanegra X. And now you can see that there's an OBS screen on your screen at home. Hopefully you can't see it, but we can. We're currently watching this gameplay in about a 4-inch box.
Yeah, you gotta squint a bit here. We're hoping you're not squinting the way that we're squinting. 41 now to 28. There's gonna be some more heatwave plays here coming in for Paradise at the home stretch of the end.
I'd love to tell you the score, but I can't see it. It's 43-29. I can see it actually just at the bottom of this OBS box. This is just something I've never seen before, Andy. I have to say, I've seen steak dinners before. Maybe that's going to be the only thing that will. 31th? I've completely lost my mind here. The 31st kill comes in, Andy. 5 kills to go here for Cintanegra X.
And a really great performance here from this entire side. Look at Sepstars just gonna continue another double for him. Don't forget to get your Windows 11 upgrades as well. They're gonna be free for anyone who is already on a previous version of Windows. We'll have to see exactly how this game ends. It's 48-32 though.
Hey, okay, the game is over.
There it is.
Game is over. Okay, we couldn't see the gameplay there. Apologies for those final moments. Hopefully you could all enjoy it at home. One thing that we can enjoy and we can see, though, is the team on your screen. That is going to be Cintanegra X, who go up 2-0 in the series.
Once again, a dominating performance from them. And when you look at the players that are on the screen, it feels like they are getting better and better throughout the weekend. It's just a massive shout-out. Sepstars, Hrimgel, Leor, and Dolan just game after game. They're really showing up in a huge way. And it looks like they came ready for Championship Sunday, Mark. I think that's one thing that we were wondering about. How will this team stack up, right, with the seed that they came in on? Right now, I think that they are looking good, and they are starting to hit some real stride for Champ Sunday.
I just want to see them in that rematch as well. I mean this with all due respect to their opponents as well, because it's, you know, I want to give a lot of credit to Alta Esports and what they've done. They've got to this point, they've got to Championship Sunday, but I'm always looking forward to the big matchups, right? And we saw Cintanegra versus Cintanegra X yesterday, and I just feel like when you are the team who got beaten last time, you get that opportunity at a rematch. You learn so much from that series, and that's one to keep your eyes on as we move through. But the final score, as you can see in that game number 2, 50-32. And now I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we go over to Live Fire, if I remember correctly, for some Strongholds.
Indeed, you're right. That is going to be the game number 3. Sepstars 18, as you said, 7 and 6. Just enormous numbers from him. Absolutely love the assist once again from Hrimgel, and they've just got to be so stoked on how this team's been playing. And the great thing about this is when you're on the beginning of a Sunday here at a major tournament like this, biggest prize pool to ever hit Mexico City or all of Latin America, and your team's playing this good, you are just going to be fired up off this momentum. You're gassing each other up. You're knowing that this is your day, and this is a perfect way for them to start the day.
Let's see if they can continue with this form and really kind of fire up and ramp up as they get towards a little bit later in the elimination bracket. But for Alta Esports, I mean, it's a kind of it's a difficult one to know that you're going into a game type now where, like we mentioned, it's one of the most difficult to get away with mistakes. You are going to be punished relentlessly if you do make those mistakes, and knowing that that is the case, it's very difficult for me to honestly say to you and everyone at home that we can expect a game 4 here and for them to come back, because it's the toughest game type to do it on.
Yeah, it's going to be unlikely. And with the way that Cintanegra Ekis has played this, they look flawless. Like we said, it's not really a matter of Alter Esports making mistakes and Cintanegra's Ekis capitalizing. It's simply Cintanegra Ekis playing on a whole different level, right? It feels like they're playing in a little bit of a different paradigm. And then right now it's showing. And I think when we think about the way that they're going to play Stronghold's live fire, this could be pretty brutal, pretty devastating, and over pretty quick as well.
Yep, let's take a look at the replays then. It was Hrimgel again who was putting up some nice plays, which the replay operative certainly is going to be keeping an eye on, and certainly makes the job a little bit easier because he's always impressing. It was the first drop-off of the heat wave as well for the player who did have the camo, Hrimgel, to really go to work. But there was a little bit of a comeback, and it was sparked by this man, Paradise, with that camo himself.
Yeah, nice little double here. Not easy to do, and under pressure even gets away on the fridge side as well. So it's definitely some good camo heatwave plays that we saw throughout that game. And unsurprisingly, you're seeing teams take advantage of comboing that and trying to rack up as many kills as they can. Let that player run around, get behind enemy lines, cause absolute carnage. And in doing so, maybe pick up a few back-to-back 4 deads. Well,
this was Paradise getting that a little bit closer, getting it a little bit more respectable, but unfortunately for him, there wasn't enough time, and as we saw at the end of the game, it ended just outside of that steak dinner. So maybe something a little bit different. Maybe just what's we need to come up with something that's like a 30 to 35 kills. You know, it's not a
yeah, because you're not getting a full steak, and you're definitely. I don't think you're. Take a look at the series layout here that you're speaking of. It's not a full steak, it's just shy of a steak. But here's what I think, right? If we think about the origin of the steak dinner, and now some people might not know this, for the youngins here who just call it a steak but don't know why. If you were able to beat the Bungie team in H3 in a weekly hump day challenge, and you beat them by 20 kills or more, they would actually send you a steak, like a very nice freeze-dried steak that would be shipped to you. From no doubt, given the Bungie team, they know a lot of excellence. No doubt that was going to be a delicious steak from a quality provider. So that's the origin. So for me, I don't know. I think you're staking or you're not.
You think that's okay, fair enough. I was just realizing that's a good idea as well, because I feel like if we come up with a name for something, we might end up having to send out.
Right, and we don't have any money. We don't have any money,
and we are in no position to do that whatsoever. So maybe it's good that the game is starting and this conversation is ending, because it's a chance for Cintanegra to end the series as well. Live fire is the place to do it. I'm interested to see how they play this game, though, how ruthless they are, how aggressive they can be, and how long they can hold a triple cap if they do get it, because that could be the difference a little bit later on.
That's right. Let's see what Cintanegra X can do. They've been on fire this entire weekend, and now they're really starting to heat up as well. A nice little battle bottom mid, though. That's going to be Paradise says, I want that heat wave, and he wins a pretty difficult battle on the pillar door. Will be 2 dead for Alter at the moment, though.
Overshield popping up in a few seconds as well. Paradise gets 1. Unfortunately, Alter Esports find themselves with 2 dead, and now you have, Sepstars looking to be a superstar once again. It's the body this time, just narrowly missed that headshot as Grimsty tries to move in. But look at this, Alter Esports, they've got B and they've got C. However, they have given up Overshield for it.
Time on the board here. Let's see what this Overshield player is able to do. That's a nice isolation from Grimsty. If he can pick up 2, that's a big trade. A fantastic little sequence of events, but in the end, it will be 4 dead. Zauron's your first spawner, so despite taking down the Overshield and a good effort from Alter, it will be Cintanegra X who continues to control and score.
I thought that Hrimgel there was about to hit the shot through the smoke. Almost like a Counter-Strike AWPer for a few seconds there, but instead it's just going to be a trade, and B and C have now been flipped. Paradise is trying to do his best to clean up this kill, but he just scarpers away. He cannot finish off Sepstars. Sepstars has been in usage, repulses him back. And finally Paradise does get that kill, but that's such a horrible situation to be in. You know the player's one shot, you want to get damage done, but he was alive long enough for them to flip over C, so now you have a lead here for Alter.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, isn't that also what you expect from Sepstar? Just such a nuisance, stays alive all the way at back B for that long, and because he stayed alive, what could Latenius, though, picks up what could have been a triple that could have been converted even further. It's shut down by Leor, as well as it looks like Hrimgel on the base. We'll see what Dolan can do here. He will fall to the Paradise heat wave. It feels like Paradise knows how to sniff out this heat wave. The guy has a built-in 6th sense to find this weapon. And just like that, it's a very different game number 3 for Alter Esports, as they will be in the lead here, and some good shots from Paradise once again. They lead 45-19.
We need to check his in-game settings. I've got the feeling that he's spawning in with it because it seems like every single time we're on his POV at the moment, he's got that heat wave. And understandably so. You want to get it. You want to make sure that that is in your control. I thought the Overshield player might have got embarrassed for a second there, but Zaron gets the job done. But let's look at that score. 59-19. This is more like it from Alter.
Then guess what? Zaron, the last player that he wants to run into on the cuts with the Overshield is Sepstars. Sepstars just annihilates that entire Overshield, and it might have been nice while he had it, but it was short-lived, less than really 10 seconds with that Overshield. Great play by Sepstars once again. Will still be a healthy lead for Alter, but they're gonna need to keep it up all game long.
They need to keep it up, but this is a triple cap, and this can get really out of hand. Zaron's gonna have a player dealing with him on the scoreboard, but manages to stay alive long enough for a couple of kills to fall elsewhere. Now you've got Cintanegra who's stolen that heat wave away, and Cintanegra X now find themselves 4 dead again. They're all spawning back tower, and Cintanegra is just running at them. And why wouldn't you put pressure back onto them and show them that we're here for a series?
Look at the comfort in this game type. And if you're watching this game as the first of the series, first welcome along almost does it to him at Tenius. He will eventually be taken down, 3 dead for Alter off the back of those kills. But if you're just watching this game number 3, and diving into Championship Sunday with us for the first time, you'd wonder how on earth is this series 2-0, but Alter Esports showing up in game number 3. As quickly as we say that, though, it will be Cintanegra X scoring once again. They've got a long way to climb back, though.
Let's see if Dolan can hit some shots here with this sniper rifle. Hasn't got too much ammo to work with, only 5 bullets, but 5 bullets is more than enough to keep a team off that Overshield, and that seems like what the play is here for Cintanegra X. He hits both, he gets the body through them, but unfortunately neither of them fall to the ground, and all that falls into the hands of Paradise and Alter Esports is that S7. So now you can see Paradise with a chance to go to work.
See what he can do here from the bridge. Has a player on concrete that he should be able to clean up, but honestly, not doing so cost him because he found himself with 3 eyes looking at him. He gets taken down on Nessa very, very quickly.
Sepstar's trying to be sneaky. He's got that heat wave as well, so anyone who tries to contest him from that A plat is going to have some problems. He's also got a couple of spike grenades, and finally we see Cintanegra with a little bit of scoring, and it looks like they're trying to flip C. Sepstars has an opportunity hit here if he can pick up a kill without getting traded to maybe pressurize these spawners back into A, and he gets the bounce shot off the backboard. That'll do. It was a little bit messy, but that will do.
Not bad from Sepstars. He's always finding a way all weekend long, and this series has certainly been no exception. And this is the danger zone for Alter Esports. They luckily flip BC. They will continue scoring at the 116 mark, but oh boy, Cintanegra, no scope here for Dolan as he's gonna also go for the capture on B. Nice little work from him. Finds another one and the 360. Racha Asesina as well. Nice work from him. He'll pick up another one, and you gotta be scared of what Cintanegra X might have in the tank for a comeback in this game 3.
Well, the comeback needs to start, and it needs to start now. However, a couple of players starting to heat up on both sides of the stage. You can see that Dolan is the player this time, and the objective that is the catalyst. And I mentioned how Sepstars, he can be a little bit up and down, and when he's hitting those highs, they are extreme highs. But at the moment, he's just hovering around kind of that 5 and 7, just -2. If he can pick up a few more kills for his team, then maybe that's the space that Cintanegra need to work. At the moment, Hingel is just doing damage to 4, 5 players, even though they're not on the map. I'm sure if there was an opportunity for him to find more players to deal with, he would. Big shots onto everyone as now Zaron tries to defend A, but it's a flood coming in from Cintanegra.
2 dead for both sides now. We'll see what they can do. Working on this A flip. They'll get it here for Cintanegra X. And they're about to trip as well. And this is what we're talking about. And you get worried when you see plays like that from Dolan at B. He's hitting back-to-back no-scopes to clear the way. And it feels like they're starting to pave that comeback. Now they're only down by about 13 points or so.
13 points and a triple cap. That's the worst thing about this here for Alter Esports. You've done a lot of work. You've managed to get yourself in a position where you have a healthy lead, but I mentioned about how devastating they could be if they get that triple cap. They've got an overshield, they've got a heat wave, but it doesn't even fire a bullet because Krimgel is there once again. Atenu is going to be able to maybe hit that plasma pistol, but it gets repulsed straight back. There's a player who's right for the triple, added to the collection, Leo. That is a beautiful, beautiful triple, demonstrating everything you can use in Halo Infinite.
Triple de muerte for Leor. Beautiful stuff from him. And this is what the side of Alter Esports was worried about. This is what they did not want to see. That was once a 100-point lead has been reduced to now nothing. A 60-point deficit nearly for them in just a moment. And what a run here. 178 now to 127. Cintanegra X looking very good. AB hold for them.
And what a run this has been from Lior as well, right? He's now sat at 15 and 10. He's doing damage all over the map. He almost managed to take down Paradise, but now he's got to be a little bit slower. Now he's got to be a little bit careful because the flood has come in from Alter Esports towards B. He's got one player in front of him. He should be able to deal with it. It's killing frenzy for him. Add another. Make it another. Doble muerte and a few extra ones for good luck.
But asesino también. That's the first time we've seen that on screen. That's the first time I've learned that in Spanish as well. 3 dead for Cintanegra X, and Dolan, the last player alive, just going to do what he can on the dummy door. And to be honest, he gets some nice damage to allow his team off of the spawn to continue pushing. Now they're less than 50 points away from closing this game.
I mean, it took a killing frenzy, though, to get them back into it. And now you can see that control has been lost momentarily. C is being flipped, though. B is also being flipped. And it's looking like if they can get B, it would be a triple cap. And with 3 players flying towards it, you might see that happening in just a few seconds' time. But a little bit of time bought by Grimstein. Managed to elongate his life long enough maybe for some help to come in. Avoids the triple cap, but it is still scoring for Cintanegra X.
Yeah, we'll see just how much time is left. It doesn't feel like much here. Just about 25 seconds left of play. Not too long. Ooh, a big back whack. There's going to be another triple here, but this time on the side of Paradise. He's going to be happy to grab that one. That was 3 dead for Cintanegra X, and as we see a simultaneous BC flip, maybe they're not done just yet.
Maybe not. Maybe there's a little bit more life in this game, and it needs to be a little bit more life for Alter Esports, because this is a game, if they lose, they will be eliminated from this tournament that's taking place in Mexico City. Down trying to dodge and dive and elongate his life as well, but Sepstars is able to do exactly that. 2 dead here for Alter Esports, and it will be a triple cap in just a few seconds time going to Cintanegra X.
Atenu's doing what he can here at the end, but as you said, not much time left. The trip cap is in effect. C is being flipped, but the time is bleeding out. 2:37 here for Cintanegra X on the comeback.
Big play being made on A, though. Little Spawn is going to come in to help Lior keep himself alive for a few seconds. A little bit of teabagging. Just remember that the game isn't quite done yet. However, with C being flipped and B being fully under the control of Cintanegra X, this is going to be one of the last pushes of the game. And if they don't win these fights, then this might be the end of the game. But look at Alter Esports. You've got to give them credit here, Andy. They do not want to go home quite yet.
Absolutely not. And they had such a strong start to this game. They had a momentary trip cap. They will lose C, but it's now 241 to 153, and they will need a perfect Halo to come back into this. They were 2 dead. You have to think all Cintanegra X needs is 1 good push, 1 easy cap, and they should be able to close this out. Alter Esports is also 3 dead.
Also 3 dead, and Hungel's missing a few shots. This is something we haven't seen from him too much, as Alter Esports seem to make a hold here on B. There's a couple of players to deal with here for Dolan, and they managed to get the hold and the reset. So it is holding on. It is by the barest of margins, by the barest of all margins. But they're still in this game, Andy.
Not over just yet. They want to continue pressuring if they can, but my God, they will need to slay them over and over and over again with the time that they need on the board. But they might be able to do it. Let's see, they're starting to flip C at the same time as A's being flipped. That's dangerous. C gets a reset. A gets a reset as well. That will be Cintanegra X now on the home stretch of final 9 points.
2 dead here for Alter Esports as well. It's a desperate play on A. 2 players trying to flip it. However, Hrimgel gets 1. There's a 1v1 between Sepstars and another player in A. It will be won by the Alter Esports player. But now you can see that Paradise has got to jump into B. Oh, he just stepped out for a second, and that allowed Cintanegra X to get that capture. And that will be the game done and dusted. 250 to 182, the final score, as Cintanegra X continue their run in the elimination bracket.